Well, late night drama, but that is what you get to associate with the Indian cricket team at this point in time. But yes, the official BCCI update has come. And trust them to give it with a bit of spice, with a bit of drama. Because can I read the result out?
Yeah, yeah.
It is as we feared it would be.
It's the
Jasprit,
worst fear for an Indian cricket fan. The worst fear has come true.
yep, it is. Jasprit Bumrah officially has been ruled out of the ICC Champions Trophy. Yes, due to a lower back injury. Lower back injury means that Jasprit Bumrah, the injury that he suffered in Sydney, that has now come back to haunt them. And because of that, now he's out of the Champions Trophy. Second tier, where if you look at it, ICC event, where he's going to miss. He missed the 2022 T20 World Cup because of that back injury. Now he is going to miss the entire Champions Trophy. And the replacements that have been announced, Harshit Rana and even Varun Chakravarty is there in the squad as well. So Yashasvi Jaiswal, Mohammed Siraj, and Shivam Dube are the non-traveling substitutes. So in this way, the spinner will replace Yashasvi Jaiswal. This is another shocker. So two major talking points. Jasprit Bumrah. So folks, before we get everything now, were you expecting the worst? Was there a faint ray of hope? Because we were getting some inside information on what the conflict was between the selectors and also between the captain. We were getting that conflict. So do you think this was just waiting to happen, or did you have a faint ray of hope? Who wants to begin?
I think
I,
we
I
were. I
would
think
begin.
there was this. There was. We were talking about this during the dugout today as well. That there were. I felt personally that there were very high chances that Jasprit Bumrah would not be part of the Champions Trophy side, and I think the clear signals were that Harshit Rana was consecutively given opportunities in the ODI setup, and he was also sort of getting ready for the Champions Trophy and playing that ODI cricket. What reports we got from the NCA and about Jasprit Bumrah earlier in the day were also signaling towards that he might not be available. Reason being, firstly, that as per latest reports, he very recently started bowling, maybe today or maybe at the max yesterday. It's not been like he's been bowling in the nets. And when somebody like a Jasprit Bumrah who's so susceptible to an injury, you would never get him back straight away into a game. So when he was 5 weeks, he was offloading, and then suddenly he started bowling a couple of days back. So that was a clear signal that he might not be part of the Indian team. And I think that was a very big reason why I felt that he will not be there. But second, of Yashasvi Jaiswal being dropped in place and then a Varun Chakravarty coming in, yeah, definitely the team did want a Varun Chakravarty, but I personally thought that it might be in place of a spinner. That wasn't the case. The team actually cut down on a batter just to accommodate one more Varun Chakravarty as well.
Well, we are also joined by Nikhil at this point. Nikhil, you feared the worst, or did you think that this was just the inevitable which was getting delayed when it came to Jasprit Bumrah? Because that back injury, when he suffered in Sydney, there was no update from the BCCI whatsoever for 2 months. There was this offloading thing. But this update, was it just delaying the inevitable, or were there slight hopes that Bumrah could be back? What's your take on the entire?
See, I think at that time, because it was spasm and not a stress fracture, I think they could not afford to leave someone like a Jasprit Bumrah out of the setup. I think it was as simple as that. You had to have him be part of the squad. And I think they waited till the 11th hour, which was, I think, the sensible thing to do. Till the last moment that you can wait. Let's hope and see if he can make it. Great. If he cannot, then, we should not. What I would like to compliment the whole think tank is, because we were talking about maybe take him, maybe risk him, take him for 2-3 games, play him for New Zealand. I like the fact that even though some of us very optimistic fans thought that that was a possible scenario, clearly he was not going to be available for the first few games. But in that scenario where you were going to make him play the final game, I like the fact that the selectors have taken a tough call, said no, nothing doing. Let's not go with it. Let's not risk it. Let's not jeopardize our Champions Trophy campaign. Let's go with the best possible available option rather than risking it. So I kudos to the entire think tank that has decided to do it. Now we know what really happened. Nitin Patel, who was supposed to assess him, said that he's not fit. The captain really wanted him, but then eventually, better senses prevailed. I think so. If the selectors have taken the call, led by the chairman of selectors, then well done to that. And then you've taken Harshit Rana. You clearly had indications that he was ahead of Siraj, so he had to then come in. What's really interesting is that Varun Chakravarty comes in, but we were debating which spinner who to go out, and quite honestly, I did not see any merit in taking any of the current spinners out to accommodate Varun Chakravarty. It would have made no sense. I know Washington Sundar was the one target, but I know that Rohit loves an off spinner, so there's no chance he wouldn't have taken it, plus a backup for an all rounder. One of our viewers in the dugout today, I forget his name, he's the one who actually suggested that how about you drop a Yashasvi Jaiswal and take a fast bowler. I think the suggestion was take a
Yeah.
fast bowler, because
Mhm.
if you want to just carry Bumrah and you're not 100% sure, then might as well take in cushion. And I think that was a great idea. When I heard that, we said, yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe you don't need two backup batters. You already have a Rishabh Pant. So that's one area you don't really need a backup at. So good idea for a fast bowler. If you're taking Bumrah, then do it. Maybe the selectors were tempted to do that, but now when you know that Jasprit Bumrah is out, then that became clear, cut to cut. Now you want to take another option of a Varun Chakravarty who could be the backup of Kuldeep if you're not really satisfied with Kuldeep's performance. And he's also, remember, coming from an injury, and you did see that they only played one game and not the second. So then it made perfect sense that you take a bowling reserve and you've taken Varun Chakravarty and drop the Yashasvi Jaiswal. What that does is, one, I think you've done the right backup. You did not need an extra batter. And what it has done is also fed someone like Shreyas Iyer. He should not now stress or be under tension that maybe in the future they'll think of a different opener partnership and I go out. That's not going to happen. So it's worked out in a lot of ways. I see a lot of positives in the two selections that have happened.
So two
Yep.
two things that I really want to ask you here about. Firstly, I think about Harshit Rana. Now that Harshit Rana has come into the side after Jasprit Bumrah's injury, do you think that it moving in the Champions Trophy ahead, it would be Shami and Harshit Rana both starting in the 11 to begin with and ahead of an Arshdeep Singh? Because that's what something we were discussing in the dugout as well.
I'm not sure about that. You ask me for my personal opinion, very tough to say what happens. And I think we'll get a better idea of what happens in the third ODI. If Arshdeep doesn't play, then there are indications that you might go with a Harshit Rana and a Mohammad Shami. If you ask me, I'm going to play Shami and Arshdeep. I think those are your two best bowlers for now. Harshit's done nothing wrong. He's been good in white ball. I think you hurried him in a test scenario, but in white ball, I think he was good. But I'd still want Arshdeep Shami, unless there's a third option. If you, just as with Kuldeep, you're not seeming 100% sure you're taking a backup. Who knows after the third ODI, if you have issues about Shami's fitness and you don't think he's performing at the top level, who knows? You could start with Harshit Rana, Arshdeep. I know it's a left field selection and both not that experienced as Shami is. And a fit Shami, informed Shami, eyes closed, I would take him. But in this scenario, who knows? This could be a better option.
But something that's
Yep.
even more interesting in this squad is that, see, again, Harshit Rana has come in place of a Jasprit Bumrah. I think that sort of was on the cards that if a Jasprit Bumrah is injured, somebody will definitely have to come in place of Jasprit Bumrah as a backup once he's definitely ruled out of the tournament. But the case of Varun Chakravarty, that's really different because nobody has gotten injured over here. They have actually got in Varun Chakravarty as an afterthought. He's come into the side specifically on the performances he has had in T20 cricket and also the Vijay Hazare Trophy. So just the fact that he's actually been bought in by from the outside, and that's really rare in Indian cricket that a professional side is announced first and then changes are made after that. Not because of an injury, but because of other reasons that I don't remember when was the last time that actually happened. So, do you really think that the way they have gotten Varun Chakravarty into the side, he's actually going to be a backup to Kuldeep Yadav, or do you think that because so much that has been done, he might just be the first choice spinner in that 11?
I mean, what's happening with the Indian team? Very tough to say who becomes the first choice 11. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm saying, I mean, sorry to be blunt, but if you were actually thinking of starting with Yashasvi and resting Shreyas, if your thinking can be that, then I don't know what you'd want to do. But I think that'd be rather unfair to a Kuldeep Yadav. Then you are being, uh, you know, uh, I mean, living in the moment is a good lesson in life, but living in exactly in the moment in cricket may not be true, where you really need to see past performances as well, and give each player a long rope. Now, if you're going to make Kuldeep, and why I'm saying I'm not surprised, because one, I've seen with this team, they have been very eager to make changes just based on one or two performance here and there, and you make changes. So that worries me. And secondly, Kuldeep has been unfortunately the fall guy on certain occasions where calls are being taken against him, which you may not have taken against a lot of other players. So if that was to happen, that'd be unfortunate. Yeah? I think how can you suddenly just eliminate Kuldeep Yadav, who till some time ago was a match winner for you? I remember Asia Cup, he was outstanding before the 2023 ODI World Cup as well. So he's been consistently amongst your wickets. So if you discard him and go with Varun, I'd be surprised. If you ask me, if I was to pick a team, no panic, no left field selection, go with your best team, and your best team will of course have the batting order. I don't need to repeat that. And in the bowling, the two questions is I'll go with Arshdeep Shami, and your three bowlers that you're playing in Akshar, Jadeja, and Kuldeep Yadav. Simple. Keep it simple.
Because you
So,
already got
So
a
the
run
same.
with
I
another.
have a question. I have a question for both Nikhil and Harshit, and specifically, Siddharth and Shashwat can also chip in. I specifically mentioned Nikhil and Harshit's name because I'm going to refer to the previous dugout that we did the other day that I did with you both. So when we were discussing that, whether India is a number one favorite for the Champions Trophy, I always had them, in my number three, because the other two I had is New Zealand and Afghanistan. You guys actually picked India as your number one favorite. So now with Bumrah not being there, is India
Mm.
still your number one favorite for the Champions Trophy?
Good question. Good question. I don't know. Harshit, you want to go first?
Yeah. In fact, because the time that this news broke, I was expecting this question. It was a question to myself firstly, and I was expecting it to be brought up at some point for sure. But in the little reflection that I've had to do, or I've managed to do since the time the news came, and let's be honest, we were all on standby for the last 1 hour because we were, fearful of
Mm.
this being exactly the news that comes our way. So whatever little thinking that I've done, I think when I look at what's happened in the other teams as well, it's a beleaguered Australia that India will be playing. It's an England team that's up and down right now. Those are the two teams that picked from the other group, and New Zealand, the team besides India from our group. I think without Bumrah as well, of course, chances diminish as far as winning the title is concerned. However, I still rank this Indian team to be my favorites for the Champions Trophy. I think the batting is what your real strength is, and given how the batters had performed in the previous big 50 over tournament that you played, I think I expect the batters to come good again. This could again be a case wherein the batters win you matches, and I'm not going to put it past the batters this time as well. The bowling, yes, looks beleaguered now as far as India are also concerned, but even then, looking at how we've managed to get the news from other camps as well, I still think India can eke out the desirable results.
Okay, Nikhil.
You'll have to do +1 on that. I still feel without a Jasprit Bumrah, I know he's your number one match winner, and him coming in makes a huge difference. But I still think as an all-round team, the rider here is they don't panic. I mean, they play the team that they, I said that we all know that all of us have spoken about in the past. Play that team in the batting order that we've all spoken about. Just be consistent with them, and that doesn't mean just for the first match against Bangladesh. It's okay. Some will get runs in the first game, some will get in the second, some will get wickets in the second or third. That should be your fixed team going forward for the first three games as well. And yeah, if you go with that minus a Bumrah, I'd still pick India, the Indian team as a favorite, yeah, to win the championship.
You
Because look at the 2023 World Cup also. I know Bumrah was there and he was good, but he wasn't as dominant for India in that ODI World Cup as he has been in BGT as well as the T20 World Cup. And I think that's kind of changed our mentality so much where we're so dependent on a Bumrah.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
talked about the fact that the Indian team hopefully doesn't panic, but aren't there already signs of panic? Because, like you mentioned, that the Indian team just a few days back was ready to drop a Shreyas Iyer just to accommodate a Yashasvi Jaiswal. And just a couple of days after that, it's the same Yashasvi Jaiswal who has been dropped off the squad altogether, and spinner has been got in this time. And I know we compare this team a lot with the 23 ODI World Cup team. And I think over there and here, there's a lot of difference. I know the people are the same, the members of the side, the 11 looks the same, but I think just the feeling of how settled the team actually is, that isn't the same. Despite the fact that most of the players are same, your captain is same, your batting order more or less is the same, but just all of the other things do not feel and look like they are settled.
But actually, you were more settled here. I'll tell you why. Because at that 2023 World Cup, you had injuries, you had to make changes and all of that. So, but here you were settled. But I agree that what you have shown us in the England series has made us all feel that they're not settled. That's what I'm saying. In fact, if you remember, before this England series started, we all said whatever may have happened in the Test series, ODI, your probably is your best format. You probably have the best team. Everything is settled. Nobody should even think twice before what your batting order or what your bowling order should be. That's the idea all of us had. I think the uncertainty has come with the kind of decision that were taken, and some of it very surprised at. In terms of the batting order and 11. So if you go back to that, let's say this was an aberration and maybe you used it to try a few things. And okay, you could do that in a series ahead of the Champions Trophy. So long as you go into the Champions Trophy with that set formula, the set team that you had, then I'm not too worried. So in that sense, I think this is more settled because that 2023 World Cup gave you that idea that you're so settled. Because before that, you weren't really sure, what is going to happen with KL Rahul. Should he be a first choice wicketkeeper or not? He's batting in that order. Shreyas Iyer, sometimes there were question marks. And also, I think all of them answered it in 2023 World Cup. And we thought, hey, we have the template, we have the team, we are sorted. Just before the England series, where you're now scaring us by those decisions.
Okay. I think one more point that probably could be discussed here. First of all, I think it's a good thing, or maybe it's an okay thing that Jaiswal is maybe not a part of the squad, because any which ways he's not really he wasn't really expected to get any game time in the Champions Trophy also. And even if you wanted an extra batter to be a part
Who
of your
knows,
Champions Trophy
Siddharth?
squad,
Who knows? First
yeah, who
match he
knows?
would have
Actually,
opened,
who knows?
huh? And Shreyas would have been sitting out.
No, I'm just going by what the squad has been released as of now. So even if you
Nah,
wanted an extra batter, you have Rishabh Pant now. So any which ways, you have all bases covered. But then knowing that Kuldeep Yadav isn't at his very best as far as his form is concerned. My question
One
to
match
all of
we
you here
yeah.
is, yeah, my question to all of you is here that is Varun Chakravarty going to start ahead of Kuldeep Yadav in Champions Trophy? Can you see that happening? Because at least Varun Chakravarty, he is more of a T20 bowler that India have had as of now in the last 6 to 7 months or so. But he is in better rhythm as compared to Kuldeep
I think
Yadav. So do
you
you see
answer the
him
tomorrow
question.
starting ahead of
No, you
Kuldeep?
answer the question before everyone else. What do you
No,
think?
I think, yeah, I personally feel it is going to happen.
I think
I
tomorrow
personally
what
feel,
we
yeah.
see in the third ODI in Ahmedabad, that is going to give a lot of answers tomorrow.
I don't think that the team is really sure of Kuldeep Yadav's form or this rhythm also heading into the Champions Trophy. He's a proven match winner. He's experienced. He has all the experience of bowling in the big matches, or he can even rise up to the occasion. But then the point with Varun Chakravarty's inclusion here is that you would want someone who is in better rhythm in comparison to Kuldeep Yadav, and he offers you that. And any which ways,
But
you would want one
Siddharth,
specialist in your 11.
you are making the same mistake, and I hope the Indian
Mixing
team
format.
doesn't make the same mistake at Siddharth, which he was making with a Jadeja, not wanting a Jadeja because Jadeja is not doing well in Test cricket. The same
Yeah,
mistake you're doing here, and that's what I'm trying to say. It's very unfair on a Kuldeep Yadav, who has been one of your standout wicket takers in ODI cricket, because we keep mixing format, and this has been the bane of Indian cricket. This has been the bane of Indian cricket, where you keep picking for T20 World Cups also. Somebody gets run in ODIs, he comes in. Somebody gets runs here, they come in. Somebody is in form there, they come in. I think
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
problem. And that's the thing I'm worried about. And what you're saying, I'm not saying what you're saying is not right. Maybe they play it. And who knows, he may start. But that is
No,
what is worrying me.
my point here is that even I don't agree with Varun Chakravarty's inclusion, for the Champions Trophy, because any which ways you have a lot of spinners. But going by the recent trend, or going by the recency bias, something that even Zahir Khan also pinpointed in one of the live discussions on a different platform, that recency bias by Gautam Gambhir might just go on to hurt India. Is this the case that if
So
if we are talking about Varun Chakravarty and Kuldeep Yadav? it might, if Varun plays ahead of Kuldeep, wouldn't it
Look,
just hurt India?
No, but you have answered
see,
that
with
question. You yourself have said, Zahir Khan has said that it is going to
Yeah,
hurt India. Uh, I heard from Suresh Raina saying that don't even think about, having Varun Chakravarty ahead
absolutely.
of Kuldeep. You had someone like an Ashwin who you would regard an authority on spin bowling, who has said it's not even a close contest in terms of who is a better wicket taker at the moment between Kuldeep and Varun. When all of these buddhijeevi, bhadralok, whichever way you want to, the intellectuals of cricket, all of them are saying it, then uh, why would shoot yourself in the foot? I doesn't make sense to me.
No,
see,
that's what I
Marathi.
want to know from all of you. That's what I want to know from
No,
all of you. What do
The
you think?
problem is, see,
no, I
with
asked you
Varun
first. That's
Chakravarty,
why I asked you. You
No,
tell me, what do you think? And
I
you
said
said Varun will
according,
play.
okay, okay, according to me, Kuldeep Yadav should play ahead of Varun Chakravarty. But going by the decisions that the team management has taken in the recent past, I think Varun Chakravarty will start ahead of Kuldeep Yadav.
Okay.
okay, so let me look at the
Hmm.
recency bias that you pointed out. Okay,
Hmm.
Varun Chakravarty and recency bias. When did we hear that? 4 years ago, 2021 T20 World Cup. Okay, he
Yeah,
did well. Okay, he did well in the IPL. You fast tracked him to the T20 World Cup. What happened there? The quality of spinners that you have got, okay, in this current Indian team, there are five spinners in this squad, five spinners who can run through opponents in the middle overs. Aksar is a containing bowler. Varun is a containing bowler. Kuldeep and Ravindra Jadeja have shown that they can run through opponents in the middle overs. Ravindra Jadeja, in particular, in the two ODIs that he's played against England. Now, as far as no Jasprit Bumrah, I mean, I didn't get a chance to answer whether India's chances take a hit. Now, the problem is you are in a new territory altogether. When was the last time you played an ICC event in February in Dubai? You're going to play in Dubai in February. You played the T20 World Cup when? October, November of 2021? Conditions were totally different then. Here too, February, slightly cooler, slightly. Maybe the conditions will change. It may be slower, it could be lower at that point in time. Bumrah's absence, I think, might be compensated by the pacers that you picked here. Might be. Because there is a Shami, there is a Harshit, there is an Arshdeep. Arshdeep is in good form. Shami is getting into slowly back into rhythm, but not as quickly as you had anticipated.
yeah,
Logic dictates, logic. This is with a big
yeah,
underline. You start with a Kuldeep. You have to play Kuldeep in
absolutely,
all the.
absolutely. Yeah.
If you make that recency bias mistake all over again, it is going to be a repeat of 2021 all over again.
See,
It is
it
my
I
does look
take.
think
like that there is
I
going to be
think
recency
tomorrow
bias because
tomorrow
that is why Varun
basis.
Chakravarty has been included. Yeah, Harshit, go on.
Yeah, I just think, yes, while all the guesswork will continue to happen till the eve of India's first match, but I think tomorrow, whatever 11 that we see will most likely be your 11 in India's first match as well. I don't think the Indian team, after trying out, let's say, Varun Chakravarty for two successive games, will not want to will have a Kuldeep Yadav in the first. So I'm going to be sticking my neck out and saying tomorrow's 11 is also India's 11 for the first match.
Could
I don't know.
be.
I personally always wanted Varun Chakravarty in the Champions Trophy 11. I even wanted him in the 11. But for me, it was always Varun Chakravarty and Kuldeep Yadav. It was never going to be either one of them. For me, since the beginning, I would have played two spinners. It was never going to be about that who's going to be that one spinner. But ideally, Kuldeep Yadav, if it's just about one spinner, if it's one spinner is going to play, clearly it should be Kuldeep Yadav because in that long format, he knows how to toil out. Batters can still take their time and play somebody like a Varun Chakravarti, what we even saw in the first ODI. If yeah, two spinners are playing and that's how things are going to be, then yeah, definitely you could have Varun Chakravarti and Kuldeep Yadav. But clearly that's not the case. And seeing how the team management is actually going about things, like Gulati sir also mentioned, the rhythm. I think tomorrow you might end up seeing a Kuldeep Yadav and an Ashdeep Singh, both of them play together in the team. And then in the first match of the Champions Trophy, you might see Harshit Rana and Varun Chakravarti playing, seeing the trend the Indian team is following. It's really, really surprising and how quickly the things change for the Indian team itself. Not even the recency bias. It's not even that recent that a Yashasvi Jaiswal who for whom you were ready to drop a Shreyas Iyer from the 11, he suddenly has gone out of the side, and now And if you've taken such a big step to get in a Varun Chakravarti, then I think there is no way that the team is not thinking of playing him in the 11. Because just as a backup,
Exactly.
you won't go that extra mile for anybody just to keep him as a backup. The way he's come in this side, the way he's from the beginning being gotten into the side, be it first for the ODI series and now now in the Champions Trophy side, I think it's very clear that he's going to be the first choice despite the
Okay.
fact he plays tomorrow or he doesn't. And I feel even in the as far as fast bowlers is concerned, I won't be surprised if a Shami is playing, then Harshit Rana actually starts ahead of an Arshdeep Singh, because that's the pattern the Indian team is sort of going after. The people they actually back, the people they think are in the right rhythm, they think can give the right impact, they are stuck on with, be it Harshit Rana or Varun Chakravarti in that case. But again, T20, I think T20 cricket sort of works that way, but definitely not ODI cricket and Test cricket, what the team is trying to do in the longer formats as well.
Okay. Okay.
Right. I don't know. This team has represented the same problem of plenty situation. Nothing's changed from 2021 onwards. You've got too many people for one or two specialist roles, especially in the bowling, especially in the spin bowling lineup. Five spinners. When you're going to play two or three max, you've already got three pacers, be it Shami, be it Arshdeep, Flash Harshit, and Hardik. You're forgetting Hardik Pandya. Then you can only play two or three more spinners, but you've picked five spinners. The whole gambit's been covered except for leg spin, which is the only drawback with this current squad that I've got. See, the batting is settled. It's a 2023 batting lineup all over again. Shubman, Rohit, Virat, Shreyas, KL, depending on the rest of the way, how you want to promote 6, 7, 8. That is the way. You've got 8 batters, that's great. But with the Indian team, we have known whoever you pick, whoever you fill in that slot, that one bad day, that one bad session is not too far. So India are not a hostage to your team selection. They are a hostage to certain mind situations that occur in an ICC event. So in that sense, the team that has been picked covers all bases. But for spinners, there is too many people for that one role, which is what I found very surprising in this entire thing. People want to once again rewind to who are what's the 15? Can I read that entire 15 out now? What should we do it later?
You
Just
can
to
do it now.
refresh your mind.
Yeah, you can do it
So
now.
for people,
Hmm.
people who are asking all of us who are the 15, the final 15, the deadline is officially going to end in the next 6 minutes. Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill is the vice captain. Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya, Aksar Patel, Washington Sundar, Kuldeep Yadav, then Harshit Rana, Mohammad Shami, Arshdeep Singh, Ravindra Jadeja, Varun Chakravarty. And the non-traveling substitutes are Yashasvi Jaiswal, Mohammed Siraj, and Shivam Dube. These are your 15 with your three non-traveling reserves. That are the non-traveling
Okay,
substitutes.
there's a super chat. Shubham Garg, he's saying, he's asking Shashwat actually. What is he saying? He's saying, Shashwat, imagine if Shreyas had failed in the first ODI, you would have he would have been dropped today. So if Shreyas had failed, then Shubham feels Shreyas would have gone out and Yashashvi would have been kept. And he feels that Shashwat would have then had to buy 3D glasses for watching KL and Virat Kohli bat.
This reference goes back to this would have exactly been repeat of 2019, what actually ended up happening with Vijay Shankar. And I think that clearly would have definitely been the case. And how fickle the mind is of the whole team management, that how things are changing within a couple of days on the basis of one or two performances in different formats. And T20 cricket, that's why I feel is totally a different ball game altogether. Over there is time limit. There are 10 things. There's left right combination you have to hit. You hit as far as what the dimension of the offside is, what the dimension of the leg side is. So things are really moving swiftly over there. You need bowlers, not just bowlers who are like who sort of don't move the ball much, but bowlers who quickly bowl their overs. And Varun Chakravarti is a typical that sort of a bowler. Yeah, definitely, because you don't have any other wicket taking spinner at this point of time in the squad. That's why I definitely did want a Varun Chakravarti, but that was never going to be at the cost of a Kuldeep Yadav or for that matter, at a cost of a Yashasvi Jaiswal, who I know at some point might give me that impact. That I think he should have been in place of a spinner if he had to come into this side, because you already had four spinners. That means you're again not ready to trust your batting that much. That means you're clearly the impact, the kind of bad form the batters are having in different formats, that is leaving an impact not just on our heads but also on the heads of the selectors and the head coach and the captain and the whole team for that matter.
Okay, couple of more comments I'm going to take. I remember I said one of our viewer had said this evening about
Rahul
Yashasvi
Dravid.
going out, but he had mentioned a fast bowler. So that was actually Rahul Dravid, believe it or not. Obviously, a
Yeah.
pseudonym. He says, thanks for remembering. As I told, Yashasvi should go out for Varun, but not for Varun, but for a pacer, as I anticipated. He feels that five spinners are way too many. We have a question by Ruki Teki saying, do you think we need five spinners in a five-match tournament? Don't be surprised if India concede big runs versus Pakistan. No first 10 over wicket taker. India cannot chase 280 plus every day. He feels now it's the 1990s kind of team. DST has a very interesting comment. He says, Jaiswal will start working on his spin bowling from now on. And I think that, ladies and gentlemen, is the comment of the day.
All of them, they will all start picking the ball up much more. I think, with what you've seen with Varun, even a Tilak Verma will be excited. He's going to be having
Shreyas Iyer also.
Shreyas, Tilak, Riyan Parag, all these fellows are going to be spending as much time with the ball as they do with the bat.
No,
But
but
see, in the
it's real.
T20 team,
I have a
in the
question. Between Tilak, Shreyas, Yashasvi, and Riyan Parag, who's hotter with the ball?
Tilak,
Riyan Parag.
Riyan
Tilak,
Parag.
Yeah, he
Tilak.
Who's
definitely is.
hotter? Who's hotter, you said?
Riyan Parag.
Riyan Parag. Riyan Parag.
Okay. Okay.
No, but it's really surprising. Five spinners in a five. It's, see again, and these spinners aren't that kind. If you're planning to go in with just one specialized spinner in Kuldeep or Varun, I'm assuming it's Kuldeep. And then you have three spinners like a Jadeja and Akshar Patel. These two spinners, you have a Jadeja and an Akshar Patel, who again are really on a given day they can actually go for runs. For a team like Pakistan, who are raised on such pitches, just flat, much more flatter conditions, but the spinners aren't actually wicket taking, much more flatter trajectories, not too much turn, perfect line and length for them to actually, just play those singles, doubles, and pile up those runs, what they are actually used to. So I'm not surprised the one of the comment that you just mentioned where somebody said that Pakistan would actually enjoy these conditions, these bowlers, and I wouldn't be surprised if they actually get the advantage of scoring big runs in these conditions against such spinners.
Okay, we got a super chat by Shubham Garg. He says, Nikhil sir, considering Shreyas plays high risk cricket in the middle order, therefore you need KL type a short batter. You can't have Shreyas and Pant together, is his point. Yeah, but I don't know. With in the batting position that KL is playing, I don't think he can be circumspect. So that's another debate
And I don't think
altogether.
Rishabh Pant can even feature in the middle order because you already have a lot of options. There's Akshar Patel also, Ravindra Jadeja, Hardik Pandya. So if any which ways, if Rishabh Pant has to find a place in this 11, it has to be at the top of the order. But then, as is the case with middle order, the top order is also stacked.
the top
Okay,
four are
I have.
cast in stone.
Okay, more questions. Sarat Chandra is saying this is pure biasness. I am sorry, but KKR biasness is going to hurt us a lot. How can Harshit or Varun be into the team two spots, which are KKR? Chim2 is saying, what has Siraj done wrong? Pure KKR biasness. A lot of comments on KKR biasness. Any thoughts on that?
It's funny that
Was it?
when we were all expecting Harshit Rana to make his debut in that series where it was highly likely, and then the retentions had to be announced. That time Harshit fell unwell. After that, you see him make his T20 debut in the subsequent series. Then he makes his Test debut. Then he makes his ODI debut. Clearly, there's something happening, I feel.
No, I think it's
Hmm.
more than the bias. I don't know. Again, I feel it's not the bias. I think it's to a liking towards somebody particularly, and I think that's exactly what lots of captains we have seen in the past do
So
as
I have
well.
a question. Why no liking towards Shreyas Iyer?
Because again, it's also automatically when
I'm
you're spending too
asking,
much time.
I'm saying because it's an IPL question, is there anything?
Because
Yeah,
Shreyas is no
I
longer
can provide
KKR,
an
na?
explanation on that. Yeah, yeah, I should go on.
I was saying because the Shreyas is no longer KKR.
I think more
Okay.
than KKR, we do often tend to, associate such like when somebody is in power and that person in past has been associated to a IPL franchise. I think it more goes to down to the fact that because you're spending more time with somebody on and off the field, not just that, I think you're more into the game of that player. You sort of end up trusting that person more and you do sort of end up backing up and start believing in that particular player much more. So that sort of tends to come out when you sort of are taking charge of the Indian team. So I don't think it's deliberately trying to protect a certain franchise, but it's just that you genuinely feel that way because that is how much you have actually seen that player or
But
whatever
but
that
So
situation
okay,
is.
it's
AKA
like he's
recency
saying
bias.
no. He's no, not recent. See what Shashwat is saying that. For example, like if Shashwat goes on to become CEO of a big company and he needs people to work under him, then he will obviously call Siddharth Vishwanathan, Harshit Ahuja, and Siddharth Gulati, na, not because he's really impressed with what you do, but because he knows you guys. He's spent time with you. So instead of getting some fresh people, he'll get you guys. Okay. So that is what you're trying to get at,
For a
right? I'm just giving
team,
up.
for
No,
a
in case
team
of
that
in
has
case of
won
Shreyas
better
Iyer,
titles than Mumbai Indians and Chennai Super Kings, they are getting flack for KKR biasness. This is rich. This is really rich at this point in time.
like
Yeah, we
the
have seen that
recent
happen with Mumbai also, with Chennai also. So I think that comes from
Not
there.
so
It's
much.
not.
When was the last time when a ICC squad was picked, you saw, oh, Mumbai Indians bias. There's always a Mumbai lobby bias. Mumbai Indians bias, CSK bias, RR bias. When was the last time we heard that?
No,
And there is
Jadeja
no
also
Mumbai
got that.
bias. There's no Mumbai bias. Mumbai player Rohit Sharma, the captain, wanted the Mumbai player in Jasprit Bumrah to be here, but he was not fit, so he's not making it. In fact, it's the opposite.
It is the opposite.
Yeah, I was about
It's
to get to that. Do you think the IPL also has some angle over here as far as Bumrah's fitness is concerned?
so no.
Could be,
At
could
this
be.
moment, from
See,
now,
we
What?
were talking about the
Elaborate on
mail,
that, na? What
me
angle? Give
about the
us
email being
details.
CC'd, na?
No, I'm
look,
not. And I don't have any details. I'm just asking. I'm just connecting the dots over here. That just
Like
after
what?
the
I can't
champion,
see the dots. Connect and tell us.
I'm saying that Jasprit Bumrah will now be fit for the IPL, which is just a 10 days gap after 10 or 12 days gap as soon as the Champions Trophy. And so the injury definitely is on that stage
Yeah,
where
who Mumbai Indians didn't assess his fitness now. NCA has assessed his fitness.
NCA,
no,
yeah.
no, but Mumbai Indians and NCA, the person who's giving the reports is the same.
Oh, acha, I think I slipped
See,
that.
until
And
from
that is
now,
not, and that isn't an assumption, that is a
from
fact.
12th February, I mean, it's now officially 12th February, deadline is over. Until 9th March, एक ही नाम सुनाई देता है. And it's not IPL or Mumbai Indians. It is India. Now,
No,
whatever you may
ninth
want
March,
to agree, look,
I'm saying Jasprit Bumrah will get fit in that last 15 days. 9th March, the Champions Trophy ends, and 21st
that is
March,
the
IPL
nature of
starts.
the injury. That is the nature of the injury. Because for
And the
one
timing
month,
of
we
it,
didn't know
Siddharth.
what was it. Huh?
And the timing of it.
Well, I mean, you can't help it. See, he got injured on 5th January.
No,
5th.
I'm saying had he picked it up in the Melbourne test, let's say, maybe you still would have had hope. Or if it was Brisbane, then the timeline just got pulled back a bit. In that case, he would have been available for Champions Trophy. One can look at it this way as well.
You needed to win the BGT. As I said, it was Bumrah versus Australia, not India versus Australia. You stretched him for 150 plus overs until Sydney. He broke down. For 5 weeks, we didn't know what was there. Now you are finally said, nahi ho payega, boss. Is safe.
You actually stretched him in the New Zealand series.
He
yeah,
didn't play the last
No, no,
one.
no.
He didn't
I
play the
really,
last
but
one.
I
You
really, but
you
I really want to know what Nikhil sir feels on this thing. That do you think that how, because you sort of are on occasions, you know what exactly is going on in your little body. So how big a factor do you think has IPL played or it hasn't played? Because I don't know. But I really want to know.
No, I don't know. You are telling us about connections between NCA and Mumbai Indians. So who knows? Maybe this point too may be right. But I mean, honestly, I don't see. I believe in the BCCI. The BCCI boss had said some time ago that the BCCI doesn't listen to IPL franchises. They cannot tell what BCCI has to do. BCCI will tell them what they have to do. So I believe in BCCI. I believe in Jassi Bhai, the only match winner. So if he was fit, he would want to be part of a historical moment, with the Indian team to win it. So while the franchise would want him fit, but I think in this case, because Rohit is involved, who really wanted him in that team. So I don't think there could be any external thing that could have prevented Jasprit Bumrah not playing the Champions Trophy. I think they tried it their best, and better sense prevailed. No taking risk, going with only fit bowlers.
But
Just
there is
a
conflict
conspiracy
of
theory,
interest
if I may.
everywhere.
Just a conspiracy theory. What if it was actually Hardik Pandya who convinced everyone that Bumrah should not be taken and should be rested?
How can he convince? Is he the
He's
captain?
not in the
Is he the
leadership
vice
core.
captain? Is he the
Arey,
coach? Is he the chairman of
support,
selector?
but he's captain Mumbai Indians.
So
Arey, but the
Mumbai
Mumbai
Indians didn't
Indians is
take.
not been picked, na. But
Could you
No,
have
but
stopped
what is the
if
one
Ajit
regret that
Agarkar
I have?
announced him?
Huh?
What if Rohit Sharma said that, okay, whatever the fitness report, I still want him. I want to take him. He would have gone. You would have waited for his call. But I think the selectors put their foot down saying, no,
Yep. The
we'd
one
rather
regret
go
now
with a
that
full fit bowler.
No, it has
yeah,
to be something we don't know about his injury in terms of its extent, because while the expectation was that he'll just about make it, he'll be on the flight as we were discussing in the evening. The fact that selectors aren't taking a bit of a chance, no, zilch of a chance. Clearly, you can't put him to bowl at all, and you don't want to be in a situation that you're risking any game. That's what it tells
no,
me.
no. What I'm trying to say is, I'm not saying it would be deliberate by either of the parties, nor the BCCI, nor the franchise, nor Jasprit Bumrah, nor Nitin Patel. But what I'm trying to say is that somewhere at the back of your head, subconsciously, when you're assessing an injury, that is also a 2 month long window where there's going to be a lot of cricket, a high intensity cricket. In that heat, you'll have to bowl constantly. I'm not saying that actively plays a part in making that decision making for a tournament like the Champions Trophy. But I feel definitely somewhere deep down, because it's been there for such a long time, players do plan their years according to that calendar. Everything goes around that. So somewhere deep down, you do think of that. What I
I
feel
mean, you have been
while
reading
assessing
too
the injury.
many murder mystery or thriller novels there for these kind of conspiracy theories. Honestly, an injury is an injury. An injury has happened. You may all question the opportune moment of it, but see, a back injury ruled Jasprit Bumrah out for a solid year. He didn't play the T20 World Cup. He didn't play the IPL also. Let's make no mistake about it. He struggled in that period. He came back after a very long time. Here, a back injury, if you had risked playing him, okay, you risk playing him, you risk even playing him for the IPL. The selectors also are looking at the long term window. There is a 5 test tour, right, to England. And how many days later it's that? It's close to 25 days after the end of the IPL.
Month,
You're
a
not going to
month,
play three
yeah.
warm-ups against England Lions also. Long term,
But
if you want.
Siddharth, I tell you where this cynicism comes from. I think you're saying it right, that you don't see anything wrong with Bumrah and there's no connection. But the cynicism comes from it's happened in the past. Now you remember what happened with Mumbai
Rohit
Indians, Rohit
Sharma.
Sharma ahead of BGT. You know the entire fiasco, how that played out. So to say that franchises don't try to exert their pressure, that also would be incorrect. Yeah, the scenario may be very different now. BCCI may be looking at it very differently, but there is precedent in the past.
Because the precedents, I agree, but with this administration, they are taking the tough calls. I mean, the previous administration was very lackadaisical. Okay, you don't want to play domestic cricket, don't play domestic cricket. They put their foot down on domestic cricket. Players should play. They are setting certain rules. They are setting certain benchmarks. So I think they are not falling under franchisee pressure at this point in time. Yes, the BCCI have an insipid of not exerting their will. I mean, there was a commandment released on January 2023. They didn't adhere to one single bit of that commandment. This
No,
administration, I don't think they are taking that step that, okay, you have to listen to us. And for Jasprit Bumrah, we are looking at long term because his injuries are never short term. That's the one worrying thing. And the other regretful thing is we will not see Jasprit Bumrah's redemption. 2017, what happened? He had a chance to redeem it in 2025. That unfortunately won't happen.
On that point, I want to just say, because some questions get directed towards the concerned player also when such an injury happens, and then you're making a comeback straight away in the IPL, which now most likely will be the case of Jasprit Bumrah as well. But a lot of questions get asked with players wanting to feature just in the IPL at the cost of international cricket. But in the case of Jasprit Bumrah, I just feel he knows that winning feeling now, what it is to win a title for the country. He's already a multiple-time winner as far as the IPL is concerned. So maybe it doesn't apply to a Bumrah in this case. You could probably make that case about other players. But in the case of Jasprit Bumrah, I don't think that conspiracy theory should be
I
mentioned
think
over
it's,
here.
I'm not. No. Just according to me, I never questioned Jasprit Bumrah
I'm
or
not saying you. I'm just
no,
saying
no, no.
in general.
But I'm generally saying that what I also meant is that somewhere deep down, that thing, according to me, stays. Not you're not subconsciously again trying to think about that, but you know that that is also a part that you need to play for a long, with that intensity and all of those things. So you have to manage your body according to that as well. So that comes in the management, and a huge chunk of how you're managing your body goes down to the because how you're managing that, how you actually sustain the IPL as well. So it's nowhere it is a plan, or nobody is actually trying to do that, or it's not about the commitment. I think it's just how the cricket system in India also works. And as far as I think, even like a lot of things come under the conflict of interest thing. So I think even as far as Nitin Patel is concerned, I think there should have been some sort of a conflict of interest in that sense, that where all he's actually associated with, because and as far as administration is concerned, there are really strict rules as far as that is concerned, because then suddenly, because of these reasons, these conspiracy theories actually come out as well. So just to keep it much more transparent, I feel that is also a thing that could have been done.
Okay. Okay.
True that. True that.
Yeah.
Needs to be
I'll
looked at.
just I'll
Nobody's
just
casting
digress
aspersions,
from
but they need to look at this.
yeah.
Yep.
I'll digress from the topic a bit, because I wanted to say something about the Shreyas Iyer thing when you asked that why they do not really like Shreyas Iyer. I think he's basically that school kid who once committed a mistake, went back to the basics, worked on himself, but the teacher who actually caught him committing a mistake, that mistake, still thinks that Shreyas Iyer hasn't improved. And maybe that's why he isn't the favorite.
No, but he's getting the marks in the exams, na? He's passing it
No,
very well. So
but still, the teacher has a perception that the kid is not, best suited as far as his character is concerned. Maybe.
Oh,
maybe.
okay. Yeah, I also realized one thing. This is the first time
Yeah.
Virat Kohli will be playing in ODI in UAE.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
never
that's a
played.
good one. That's a good one. He
He's
did not
never
play the
played
Asia Cup in
in
2018. Yeah.
Oh, that's a staggering stat that we got. Because he didn't play in 2018. He
Yeah,
played T20s in 2021. He's never played an ODI there. Wow. That's really, really awesome. So, further comments.
Fit Monk says that chances of lifting the trophy completely ruined now. Maximum he feels we can make the semis. Don't be so despondent. Come on. Some people are saying now you can call our Indian team Indian Knight Riders. Deepak Yadav is saying that.
Yeah, not
Abhishek
playing.
Singh says, why not leave the slot for Bumrah like Australia did for Head in the 2023 World Cup? Why so much hurry? But, clearly they had a sign that there was not a great chance of him even making it to the latter half of the tournament. Also, you must remember 2023 World Cup was a long affair. This is effectively just a 3-match first round and then 2-match if you make it. So very, very short and crisp
Very
tournament.
short, yes. 2 weeks, hardly. Very difficult.
Yeah.
Piyush Nandre.
Chalo,
Bumrah will be named as, yeah. Since Piyush
It's
Nandre is
okay. I
getting his
think we can all leave.
predictions.
Siddharth can keep taking comments.
No, that's
No,
it.
go
This
ahead,
last
go ahead.
comment. Yeah, Piyush Nandre.
Yeah, just
He
putting
says that Hardik Pandya will get injured and Bumrah will come as a concussion sub.
कुछ भी.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This definitely doesn't qualify as comment of the day.
No,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't. Yep. Indeed.
Okay. On that note,
Yep.
Siddharth, you can
You've
lead us
gone on
since
all
you're here.
day.
You can lead us with the good nights and the nandris.
Yeah. Okay, so that's about it. The Champions Trophy finally
no,
is over.
I have something interesting to tell. So I was basically out for a dinner with my wife, and as soon as I read that message on WhatsApp group, I basically told her, let's just hurry up because I have to join this.
Wow, well done. Well done, Gulati.
And I was also going out on a walk.
It'd be the
No,
least.
it was just nearby
It would
only,
be
so
the
it was
least.
just from a walking
Siddharth, you don't,
distance.
Siddharth Vishwanath, you don't have to match up to everyone. Na? He said that he left the dinner and came. Siddharth, even I was going to go for a walk. It's okay. Sometimes someone can be ahead of you. It's okay.
No dinner.
So, okay, we found a comment of the night. I think we also have the Balidan of the night as well. You guys can keep fighting.
Gulati is the Balidan
The
of the
winner
night.
for me is Siddharth Gulati.
Yep. Indeed.
Anyway, on
Okay,
that,
guys. So
yeah,
we've
Siddharth.
gone on all day. It's
Yeah,
gone
yeah,
on
but
for
last
the...
story from you. I'm sure there's 2 more left.
Done. I am done for the day. Okay, guys. So bye-bye. Nandri, Vanakkam, Shubhratri, Shabba Khair, eat your vegetables. Third ODI tomorrow. Let's see how that pans out. We'll be back with more updates on sports today.
Hey,
Bye-bye.
Shashwat, where is your bit?
I think he signed off with tomorrow is the match. We'll see you again. So I thought.
No, Rohit, we
That's
are
for the
also
match.
missing our role clarity, yaar.
Takia Kalam is only for the match, not for this. Chalo. Bye-bye.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.